I have engaged in these conferences, in other conferences, because I think it's important that university leaders come together and discuss challenges and opportunities, compare new notes. If you're a chemist, if you're a professor in chemistry, you always go and meet other chemists. If you're in biology, you meet other biology professors. But you see, it has not in the old days been a tradition that university leaders came together and actually talked about strategy, about best practices and so on. And I think QS and other similar institutions that do this fulfill a very important role in that aspect. So that's why I think this is important. And if I'm going to improve them, maybe one has to get more people, maybe here now today, mostly maybe from Asia. And if the conferences are in Europe, they are mostly from Europe, to make them really global. And I also think it's very important to really touch on the difficult issues, the hard issues. You know, it's very easy to talk about the positive and people stand up and say we are doing good and so on. But I think some session leads must be focused on the really hard issues. And the hard issues for universities today is to change in a very unpredictable world. And I think that is the challenge these universities has. So that therefore is the challenges what the various QS meetings have the same, right? I think educators, of course, it's very important, have always been important and continue to be important. But I think the challenge today, particularly when it comes to education, is the unpredictability. What are we educating our students for? Accountancy may disappear because of computers. Medical diagnostics may change. So there are so much big changes to society. And we cannot today just educate as we've done before. And the other thing, how do we educate? I always say we have to go from Gutenberg to Gates, right? I mean, it's almost a swear word to say books becomes less relevant because the books has been the symbol of university and now everything is digitalized and so on. But of course, students today, young people today, learn different than my generation and even my children's generation. And so the students want new ways of educating. It's the professors that have a hard time to go out of their traditional way of teaching. So that is, of course, again, it has to do with change, because the world is changing and universities are part of the world.